You're listening to the Balanced Educator Podcast, episode number 60.
Welcome to the Balanced Educator. We're your hosts, Kaylee
and Josiane from EduCalm. Our intention is to equip and empower you to feel more calm, balanced, and joyful in all aspects of your life. Hey everyone, how's it going? I cannot believe we are at episode 60. This is crazy. We've been doing this for over a year now, and we are just celebrating our 1-year anniversary with a giveaway to a 1-year subscription to EduCalm Classroom, but I will give you the details about that later. Now, to all of you who are new to the show, welcome. We're so happy you're here. And to those of you who come back every week, thank you for being here. We appreciate you so much. And if you haven't done so yet, we invite you to subscribe to the show on iTunes or wherever you listen to your podcasts, because we bring you a new episode every Monday. Now, we are pretty much going to dive directly into the show today. Today, we are actually sharing with you 5 mindfulness activities that you can try out in your classroom right away. Super fun activities, super simple. You don't need any material for these. Just concrete strategies, since you know that's what we're all about. And actually, I lied. You may need some materials, but we've got you covered. You'll see. Now, before we dive in, just want to remind those of you who are in Manitoba that we will have our very last PD workshop on April 25th, which is coming up really fast. It's a half-day professional development workshop. You can take it either in French or in English, where you will learn how to successfully implement a daily EduCalm Classroom mindfulness practice. And you'll learn exactly how the EduCalm Classroom curriculum can be linked to your regular teaching curriculum. And in this workshop, you also receive a year subscription to EduCalm Classroom. So again, April 25th, and you can go to www.educalm.com/EduCalm Classroom PD. And EduCalm is spelled EDUCALME. All right, let's dive into these 5 mindfulness activities. All right, so we are talking about 5 mindfulness activities to try in your classroom, and you can try all of these right away because why, Kaylee?
They are all in the Balanced Educator free resources. So when you go to educalm.com/the Balanced Educator, you can get all of these activities for free. So we're going to explain today exactly how you can use them in your classroom.
All right, so the first one we are going to talk about is our 5-finger breathing. So can you take us through that?
Absolutely. So in the Balanced Educator free resources, we have a awesome poster that you can put up in your classroom as a visual for your students. We get a ton of questions about transitions. I know that this is something that is often a struggle in classrooms, and 5-finger breathing has been so helpful for me with transitions with my students.
Take us through it.
So what you do is you place one hand in front of you, and then you use the index finger of your other hand, and you bring it up to the bottom of your thumb and wrist. As you inhale deeply and slowly, trace your finger up your thumb. Exhale, trace down your thumb. Inhale, trace up your index finger. Exhale, trace down. Inhale, trace up your middle finger. Exhale, down. Inhale, trace up your ring finger. Exhale, down. Inhale, trace up your pinky. Exhale, down. And notice how you feel.
And there's even a full audio-guided mindfulness practice in our free resources that goes with the poster.
So you don't even have to teach it yourself. We can teach it to your students for you.
Yeah.
Extra bonus. So once I've done 5-finger breathing with my students, like I've taught it to them for maybe about a week or so, maybe less or maybe more, depending on the group. After that, I really like to ask then the students to be the teacher. So when they come back in from recess, we all do 5-finger breathing together, but instead of me leading it, that's the teacher all day that they're tired of listening to all the time. Get one of the students who's eager and excited to be the 5-finger breathing leader that day to lead the class. So that really helps to make it authentic for them and to remind them that this is a strategy that they can use whenever they need it to come back to that calm feeling. And I also frame it as, okay, let's get our brains ready to learn. So we talk about how this 5-finger breathing is a tool that we can use when we come in from recess. You know, lots was going on and we're excited and we have a lot on our mind. Now we need to get our brain back into learning mode, and 5-finger breathing helps us to do that.
And one thing I love about it is how visual it is. Lots of kids, and I'm thinking especially like K-2, K-3 kids, like to tell them to breathe is not enough. Mm-hmm. So for them to have that visual is extremely helpful. And of course, your hand is with you at all times. Well, in most cases.
In most cases.
And so it's something that's visual that you can use right now. The next one that we want to talk about today is flower petal breathing.
So this one is a printout in the Balanced Educator free resources, and it is a flower with these nice big petals, and each petal says, they alternate between inhale, exhale as you go around the flower. So the idea is for the student to use their finger to trace the petals of their flower. Inhale when it says inhale, exhale when it says exhale. So tons of different ways that you can use this in the classroom. I know one of our kindergarten teachers, Danielle, if you're listening, hi, I know you did this in your classroom. She got the students to each color their own flower petal breathing. And then this way it was a tool for them to have throughout the year. So I can't remember if she had them keep it in their desk or it might have been in their mindful corner. So it was easy for them to access and they could use it whenever they needed. So they color it. It really feels like it's their own. And then it also, because it says inhale and it says exhale, that's also for the younger grades, it's teaching them some new words to add to their vocabulary.
And another thing I've seen is just printed, laminated, and just up in a calm corner. Of course, we have to teach kids how to use these tools if we expect them to use them. So teaching in advance and then having it up somewhere visual where they can use it whenever they need. So that's a fun one. The next one that we want to share with you today is eating mindfully.
This one is really fun. And I love to do a mindful eating activity with students with oranges because it's a food that is so fragrant. It has interesting textures, such bright color. It's like such a joy to the senses to eat. But if you don't want to bring in oranges, you can totally just do this at snack time. So in the Balanced Educator free resources, again, educom.com/the Balanced Educator to get all of these. There's a script in there that walks you through exactly what to say to your class to walk them through the activity. But essentially, you are getting them to use all 5 senses to experience eating. And as you do this, they have all sorts of things to share about things that they never noticed before. You pay attention to the smells, to the textures, how it looks, how it feels, instead of just how it tastes. And even then, oftentimes we eat so quickly and so distractedly that we don't truly even taste our food. So there's always awesome conversations and discussions that come up after this mindful eating activity that I love.
And I feel like this is something you can easily tie into your English or French curriculum, like to do a little journal entry about what you like smelt, saw, touched. What are all the five senses?
Tasted.
There's one more.
Heard?
Yes.
Yeah. So with the hearing, oftentimes if there's like food with wrappers, I get them to really listen to the wrappers and things like that. It's also something that you can tie into your science. So in Manitoba, at least, the digestive system comes up for the first time in
grade 5.
So yeah, it's a really great way to talk about the digestive system. And one thing that you can really kind of pull out of that is talking about when they started noticing their mouth salivating. So your saliva is the first step in digestion. So it's interesting for them to see that your body literally starts digesting the food before you even put it in your mouth, because it's starting to create that saliva. So that's a fun way to, and then, you can talk about, oh, did you feel it going down your throat? And then when did you stop feeling it? And just really paying attention to this thing that they do every single day, several times a day, but have probably never really noticed all the little details of.
Also, you talked about the digestive system, but I think in Manitoba, I think it's grade 1 where they do the 5 senses in sciences. So also that would be a great activity to do for that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. The next one is a mindfulness scavenger hunt that is ready for you to use in the Balanced Educator free resources library. Go ahead.
So on this activity, it is getting students to see what they can find with all 5 senses. So it's something that you can do kind of at a micro level, like have them sitting at their desk and using all 5 senses to notice whatever it is that they notice. You could bring this into an outdoor activity, getting them to use all 5 senses so essentially it's like a grid, and they list the things that they've found or noticed with each of their senses. And it's, really nicely laid out and pretty, because Josiane made it and she's our expert in making things look pretty. And so a fun activity you can use outdoors, an activity you can bring into science in many different ways. As scientists, we are using our 5 senses to understand the world around us. So that's really applicable at any age, and something that I would remind students of even in high school, that, we're using our 5 senses to understand the world. And when we start using microscopes, it's like enhancing one of our senses. And that's what mindfulness is.
You've always got science on the mind.
I know. Always.
And the mindfulness scavenger hunt, you can do it, like Kaylee said, on a micro level or a macro level, but there's also a very short lesson plan that comes with it, so that it gives you an idea of how you can use it in different ways. So it's all there for you. And the last one that we want to share today is a script, a memory that brings me joy.
Yeah, so this one's really fun because it starts to teach students that their thoughts create their emotions and their perspective. So I know one thing that I'm working on with my students a lot in grade 5 is understanding how there's a lot of conflict in grade 5. So we're always trying to understand another person's perspective and see where they're coming from in the situation, and doing a lot of sharing circles and giving everyone the chance to talk and share their perspective, and then trying to take on their perspective to understand where they were coming from. And one thing that recently I've been sharing a lot with my students is that what you give, you get. So when you choose to be kind to someone else, it makes you feel good. And then it also often encourages them to be kind back to you. So really helping them to understand this, like, emotions and how they're created in our body and how we can choose the way we want to feel. They get to learn that in this A Memory That Brings Me Joy script. So as you read the script to your students, it brings them through this thought process of imagining a memory that brings them joy, and then using all their 5 senses to really experience that memory. And as they do it, they start to feel good. They start to feel those joyful emotions. So it's a very clear demonstration to them that the way that they choose to think affects how they're feeling in any situation.
Yes. And in the Balanced Educator free resources, it is just the script. But to end the episode today as a little bonus, we thought that we would actually play it for you. And maybe you want to pause and gather your kiddos and do it with them today.
Yeah.
So here it goes.
Welcome to EduCalm. Let's start our practice. First, sit in a position that feels comfortable for you today. There's no right way to sit. Just choose what feels best for you. Now, choose if you want to close your eyes or keep them open. If you want to keep them open, choose to focus on the floor or your feet. Take a deep inhale through your nose. Take a deep exhale. Breathe deeply like this 3 more times, counting your inhales silently in your head. Now, allow your breath to find its natural rhythm, flowing in and out of your nose in its own time. Notice how your breath feels in your body. As you inhale, feel how your body rises. As you exhale, notice how you become more relaxed. Now, think of a memory that brings you a lot of joy. In this memory, are you alone or with other people? Where are you in this memory? Are you inside or outside? What do you see in front of you? What colors surround you? Remember your joyful memory in as many details as possible. In this memory, what do you smell? Does it smell like flowers? Or does it smell like food? Does it smell like anything at all? Imagine the smells of your memory in as many details as possible. In this memory, do you taste something? If so, what do you taste? What does it taste like? Is it sweet or salty? Imagine the tastes of your memory in as many details as possible. In your memory, what can you hear? Is it quiet or loud? Are there people talking or laughing? Is there music or people singing? Remember the sounds of your memory in as many details as possible. When we think of a memory that brings us joy, we can fill our body with joyful emotions to feel good. We can use this strategy anytime we want to feel joy in our day. To end our practice, let's take a deep breath together. Inhale. Exhale. Notice how that feels. Thank you for sharing your practice and your awesomeness with us today. And remember, you have the power to create joyful emotions in your body.
This practice is one of my favorites to play in my own classroom. I love it. The kids love it. And I just find it so soothing and calming. And I always finish the practice with a smile on my face. So again, if you want to grab the script for this one and all of the other resources that we shared today, you can go to educalm.com/the balanced educator. And we'll put all of that information in the show notes as well for you. But there it is, a bunch of free resources for you to start using in your classroom. And personally, I can't wait to use, I haven't pulled it out yet, the flower petal breathing. I wanted to wait until spring, and it's spring now, so I'm going to pull it out this week. So your exit ticket for this week is to enter our giveaway to win a year subscription to EduCalm Classroom. So as you may already know, at EduCalm, we help busy teachers create a calm, positive classroom culture with our ready-to-use bilingual mindfulness program called EduCalm Classroom. And this program teaches students to self-regulate so that teachers can spend more energy on teaching and less on managing behaviors. It's a win-win for everyone. So how to enter for this giveaway that is going on until April 12th. There's two ways to enter. So the first way is to review the Balanced Educator podcast on iTunes, or you can also review it wherever you listen to podcasts. And then once you've left a review, take a screenshot and either email it to us, or you can just post it in your stories and tag us at EduCalm, EduCalme. And if you want to email it, it's at bonjour@educalm.com. And that's going to give you 5 entries. And we've already had a few of you do this, and you've left some wonderful reviews. Thank you so much. You guys have no idea how much joy it brings us to read these. And also, it really, truly helps other educators find the podcast too. So that's the first way. Now, the other way to get one entry, and you can do this one as many times as you would like, is simply to take a screenshot of you listening to the podcast and go ahead and do it right now. And then you can share it on Instagram or on Facebook as a post or in your stories and tag us at EduCalme, EduCalme. So quick recap, for 5 entries, you leave a review and you share it with us in whichever way you want to do that. And for 1 entry, you just share in your stories a screenshot of you listening to the Balanced Educator podcast. Thank you so much to all who have already participated. It really is the most awesome and helpful thing you could do for the growing community of educators who want to bring mindfulness into their classrooms, who truly care about their students' mental health and their social emotional development. So thank you, and go ahead and do that right now. And we can't wait to connect with you as you enter the giveaway for a year subscription to EduCalm Classroom. So as usual, thank you so much for tuning in to the Balanced Educator podcast. We appreciate each one of you. We appreciate our growing community of educators so much. And may you have an awesome week.